Okay, game on. Game back on. Sorry for that delay. And before we proceed, I just want to thank you for all your time today. I realize that you kind of got wind of this at about 8 o'clock this morning. You read every word of the bill, and you found some pretty good mistakes from what I understand. So thank you for you worked all day long on this in between while you were already working. So I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Representative. I'm going to ask Jessie if she could go through, and we'll just go page by page. These are very minor adjustments that we found, and Jessie, if you'd be willing to do that for us.
Sure. Thank you, Senator. So just generally, House Bill 2294, as amended by House Committee and passed through the House, creates the Office of Early Childhood and makes changes to daycare licensing statutes. So the amendment being offered by the Senate before you, the first change is on page 2 in section 2. You're going to see in line 8, 16, and 20. Each of those items are further clarified as a licensed person, licensed by the licensing statutes within the bill. And then line 40 there, you have a licensed child care center. So also clarifying that. On page 3 in line 42, this is going to be new section 6. So this section deals with the ability for the Secretary of Health and Environment to develop and operate pilot programs to increase the availability of daycare facilities and spots in the state. Here there would be language added that such pilot programs may request state funding for operations subject to appropriations. So through that, these pilot programs would be able to request monies from the state if the state decides to appropriate those monies. Page 5, you have line 18. So when this talks about the appropriations under the Office of the Early Childhood, further in this amendment, you're going to see there are some changes to the performance and functions of the Kansas Children's Cabinet. For the Kansas Children's Cabinet, one of their duties and functions is to oversee the Children's Cabinet Trust Fund and Children's Initiative Fund. So in line 18, what you have is you have the addition that in the budget request for the Kansas Office of Early Childhood to include those monies that would be therefore under the Office of Early Childhood. Page 6, you find a list of items that the Director of the Early Childhood would be in charge of. So in line 18, it currently talks about maximizing funds and support services and grant initiatives for efficiency and reduction of administrative waste and ensuring greatest possible benefit to eligible families and providers. Here, the amendment includes after the word waste to also include fraud and abuse in those duties of the director. In line 24, you have a new paragraph 3 stating that the Director of Early Childhood shall also comply with all rules and regulations that are adopted pursuant to requirements that are set in KSA 39709. This statute is a statute that governs a majority of the public assistance programs. So you think TANF, child care subsidy, food assistance, and Medicaid medical assistance. So those requirements in that statute deal with eligibility to receive those benefits. Next, you have page 7, which is new section 10, line 5. This section also has more duties for the Director of Early Childhood. So the first one is to prepare and implement plans for a comprehensive service delivery system for children and families. Here, the amendment proposes that they prepare and then submit to the legislature such a plan for those comprehensive service delivery system for children and families. On page 8, in new section 11, which—
All right, I'm going to have to pause you there. We're taking another vote.
Okay.
Okay, so game back on. And we have had ample time to review the amendment while you guys were out, and we are acceptable of all the changes in your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Have another amendment? It was the feeling on the Senate side that, and again, forgive me, it's the first time the Senate has seen this. I realize, Representative Tarwater, you've been working on this for a couple of years now. It's just come to us. Okay, thank you very much. So we agreed with the structure, and we wanted to thank you very much for working on restructuring this department and the way that the structure is set up for early childhood. Our thinking was this might fit better under the Department of Children and Families, and that it's called the Child Care and Childhood Bill, and that if we were to put that under them, they're the ones who look at eligibility, they're the ones that determine if they, how much would go onto their card to be able to pay, that the parents could put on the child care. So our other amendment would be to put this under, take the same structure, put it under the DCF, and again, therefore, it would change the name to Deputy Secretary of the Office of Early Childhood, and then the titles instead of Deputy Director would just be Director, but the same subdivisions and everything would be present.
Okay, so Representative Clayton.
Yes, just a point of order. I know that you said that we accepted that First Amendment, but since I have some misgivings about that, could we just take a quick break and discuss this, please?
Okay, looks like we're going to take just a second here.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. The gravity of the amendment is pretty great, and there was a couple of things that we didn't notice in there until now. And this thing is, the entire House is waiting on me to get back. I have 2 bills to carry tonight. So we're going to adjourn, and we're going to come back after for veto session and negotiate this bill then, and we'll review your amendment in the meantime. So thanks again for all your work. Staff, thanks for being here this late. I'm sorry this thing fell apart at the last minute. There were some unexpected changes, so we're adjourned.